Hello, everybody. Excuse me putting on my lip gloss, the only makeup I've got on today. How are we all? Hope you're okay. I'm getting there. If you just chanted with me, you know I had a kind of an eruptive start to the day, which was a discussion with a friend about COVID-19, which I didn't want to have, and she kept bringing the conversation back to. So I've just had some lovely Reiki healing from all my lovely chanting people who do Reiki, and I'm feeling much better, so I'm going to contact my friend afterwards and say I hope she's okay. And yeah, so there you go. So the funny thing was that quite often, oh thank you Marina, quite often I say about how when it's the lead up to the full moon, I will get really anxious, or something like this will happen, which happened this morning with this friend, where I'm like, I don't really want to talk about COVID-19. I'm doing everything I can to avoid it. You know, let's not go into the grisly details of, you know, death and mayhem that's going on in the world, because I don't really see the point of that. I'm doing what I can. And then 5 minutes later, the conversation's back to more grisly details. And you know, I got really upset, she got really upset, and we basically said, okay, bye, like this. And then when I mentioned it on the chanting, you know, someone was like, yeah, full moon. I'm like, oh my God, of course it's the full moon. I know it's the full moon because I'm doing a full moon ceremony tonight. So anyway, they all sent me Reiki, or lots of people who do Reiki sent me Reiki, and I actually feel quite good. That we all had people, actually we should do a Reiki circle as well, shouldn't we? That would be fun. We can all, oh, thank you, Lise. We should all do a Reiki circle, and those of us who can do remote Reiki. I actually have been trained to do remote Reiki, but I actually haven't done it for about probably 5 years. Probably need a refresher course. So yeah, so let's talk about this full moon that's coming and what that all means. So it's going to be the full moon in the sign of Virgo, and full moon in Virgo. So from my beautiful Moonology diary, now sold out. I'm getting lots of emails from people saying that they're trying to get the diary. It's sold out. Yeah, it's sold out. In fact, now if you go on Amazon, there are a few there for like, well, I saw one the other day for $200 because people are trying to, you know, be parasites basically. It's call a spade day. So don't buy them. Yeah, so now you can actually buy next year's, which guess what? I haven't even started writing yet, but Amazon have got it listed for next year. And I haven't even started writing it. I'm finishing off my Moonology manifesting cards. Oh God, I'm all over the place today, aren't I? Let me just try and stay on track. So yes, from the diary. Full moon in Virgo. It's time to find a balance between dreams and reality, between fantasies and what's actually going to get your life in order. Well, I've actually been doing that. As I said on my chanting this morning with the group, you know, one really good thing is we bought a treadmill, and I have actually started to lose some of the weight that I had gained in lockdown, which quite frankly I couldn't afford to gain in the first place. And this is not vanity. This is because, you know, you have to be in healthy shape. Anyway, so I've started to lose some of that weight. So that's really good because I've been walking and even doing a little jog on some days. So getting my life in order, I don't know about you. This is the challenge of the Virgo full moon, which takes place when the sun is in poetic Pisces and the moon is in organized Virgo. This creates a tug of war between the side of you that wants to stare at the stars and the night and dream your way through the day, and the part that knows the I's must be dotted and the T's must be crossed. And, you know, yeah, that also applies to me. I don't know about you. This is all about me today because I'm in therapy today. But, you know, like as all of you know, I've been staying up till all hours. I've started doing my release thing at the end of the night. And that has actually really helped me, and I'm starting to sleep in, but I'm still going to bed quite late, so I need to go to bed earlier. Someone's saying, how do I join chanting? Just go to the events thing on my page. It's there every single day. Okay. Finding a balance between these two parts of ourselves is important. Tap into the positive energies and harness the Mercury-Jupiter link that's taking place around the same time as the full moon. Mercury is about communication and Jupiter is about looking on the bright side. So that's actually quite good. That's actually quite good. I do also have a slight work issue that's been rumbling along in Australia, nothing to do with Hay House, for a very long time, which was wearing me down, but I'm feeling much more zen about it now. It's like, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, because honestly, the people I'm dealing with are really nice, but it all started, I think, under Mercury retrograde, and it's just, we're working our way out of that still. Oh, thank you, Tracy, for the stars. People are giving me stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Marina says, is chanting just for my friends? No, everybody can join. Some people speak and some people don't. Some people I know, some people I don't. Everyone can join. Oh, thank you, Martina. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. All right, so make a list of what you want to make space for in your life and then do your full moon practice. They are designed to help you let go of whatever is blocking you. We practice forgiveness because it releases karma and lightens our load. So there you go. Thank you, Aoife. So basically, in a nutshell, I'm going to get into this more deeply tonight at 6 p.m. UK time, when I'm going to do my free full moon release ceremony. And I can tell you, after the morning I've had today, it's going to be a pretty intense one. Okay, so if you are not in Australia and you're not going to be fast asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, join me 6 p.m. I'm afraid I like to do the full moon ceremonies late, because I like to do it when it's dark outside, so we can, you know, moon bathe a bit. So I'll put some extra frills and bells and whistles on tonight's ceremony, not least of all because I need it as well. And you know, oh, Aoife, thank you. Aoife's going to send me healing. Oh, thank you, Shakayla Paris Hack. Oh, what a day. So the other thing I really wanted to mention is that if you are doing the free Moonology Manifesting Challenge, then I put a link above or below, and it's free. So if you haven't joined up, you can. But if you've already signed up, doubly, either join me for the free full moon ceremony tonight, or make sure you watch it when you wake up tomorrow, or within the sort of the next 24 hours, because in fact it's the letting go now that we are doing now. So I'm going to be letting go of this angst with my friend, my COVID-19 addicted friend, who, you know, believes that everybody should be thinking about COVID 24/7 and that's the only way to handle this. I may not be completely healed from this situation yet. That's not fair. She doesn't think everyone should be thinking about it 24/7. She thinks that everybody should be informed. Whereas I feel, you know what, I'm in a safe bubble in my house here. Unless someone comes into my living room and deliberately coughs all over me, I'm fairly safe. That said, I'm slightly suspicious that my husband might have had COVID-19 last week. He was absolutely fine, apart from his taste and smell just went weird. He was smelling petrol around the house all day, every day, and he tried to eat some chicken and it smelled really weird, and I smelled and it smelled fine. So I don't know if he had COVID, like stealth COVID, but he's completely fine. Like, he's better than ever. So who knows what the hell's going on? Yeah, so watch the replay, because actually, when you get into the Moon Manifesting Challenge, which starts in about, I suppose, about a week from now, it starts on March the 7th, 7-day Moonology Manifesting Challenge starts on March the 7th. The more you've released now, we're going to do release work because we're starting at the quarter moon, but so we'll do release work, and that's when I've started it. Yeah, the more you do, the better. So do the moon release work with me tonight if you possibly can. Someone's saying, will the replay be available in other countries? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just mentioning Australia because I know at their time it's going to be something like 3 a.m. and you know, most of them will be asleep, but you know, it'll be on replay. So Facebook Live. So there you go. Yeah, someone's saying we must not live in fear. And that's the thing, you know, that's why my husband is the biggest news hound in the world. He just loves the news. He will read the news for hours. And even he stopped reading the news because he was like, I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through all the COVID-19 stories, and it started freaking me out. Thank you, Miss Tracy Davies. You know, so we sort of made a decision. We're going to live, you know, we're very lucky. We know we're really lucky. We've got this beautiful house, and we're in here, and touch wood, we're safe. You know, no one comes in, no one goes out. Everything's delivered, and neither of us have any need to leave the house. And so that's just what we do. And, you know, right or wrong. Someone, after I spoke about having this upset with his friend who was trying to force COVID information into my ears despite me saying no, please no. Someone contacted me and said, would you like to come on my documentary and talk about it? I'm like, no, I want to stop focusing on it. I've had it, I can't deal with it. Like, I live what I preach, you know. I don't want to spend my life focused thinking about you know, grisly ways that people die when they get COVID. Like, I just don't see the point of that. And does that mean I don't have compassion for people who are going through COVID? Of course I do. I'm pretty damn sure I had COVID, and it was no walk in the park. It was horrible, you know. So of course I have compassion. And, you know, I've lost people during the COVID time. My uncle died possibly of COVID. He was already sick. He died, my most beloved uncle. And, you know, one of my best friend's dads died, and he had underlying conditions, but he died and was registered as a COVID death. You know, so I believe that if we choose to focus on the positive, our lives will be easier during this difficult time. So there you go. And someone's saying, okay, if you don't want to focus on it, don't. You're right. Let's stop. Yes, let's just focus on good things. You know, what I want people, and I was doing a reading for someone the other day. I don't know if it was on my radio show or it was in my Sun, Moon and Stars thing we did last night, which was really fun. But, you know, it's like now is the time, especially if you're not in Australia or New Zealand, where they are pretty much having a normal life, apart from the fact they're not allowed to leave the country. In fact, in some states, some cases, they're not even allowed to leave the state. Okay, but they are otherwise having relatively normal lives. So, you know, for anyone who's still going through this time is golden. This time, if you are still alive and still healthy and all your family's healthy, you know, you are blessed more than nearly everybody in the whole wide world. And if you're stuck at home, you know, obviously if you're by yourself, it's really, really difficult. However, as I put on a meme the other day, was, you know, if you're getting COVID fatigue, up your spiritual practice. And it reminds me of when I spontaneously went to live in Paris about 15, 16 years ago. I went there for a week, okay? A friend lent me the keys to his flat. He was in Sydney. He said, you know what? You're going to Paris. Don't stay in a hotel. Here are the keys to my flat. I'm like, oh my God, all right, thank you. And he lived in a really nice part of town as well, in the 6th arrondissement. I think it was actually, I can't remember the name of the street now. I should remember it, but it's actually it's a Mother Mary street. It's like Mère Marie or something like that. In the 6th arrondissement, just down from the Jardin de Luxembourg, which are the beautiful, beautiful gardens. Anyway, long and the short of it was that I went there. I arrived on the night of the new moon. Tracy's saying she loves this story. I've told this story many times. It's also in my Moonology book. I arrived there on the night of the new moon, and it was, okay, it's the new moon. Someone told me that taxis weren't very expensive in Paris, which they actually weren't back in the day. Not like where I'd been, which was Sydney, when they were, you know, relatively expensive. So I dumped all my stuff in his flat, went outside, went to the main road, which was Rue de Rennes, for those of you who know Paris, and flagged a taxi. And I went to the Eiffel Tower, and I wished to live in Paris. I wished to find love in Paris, and I wished to find work in Paris. And as I say, you know, in my Moonology book, and in fact, if you've signed up for my newsletters, you get this story as well. I tell this story as well. And all of those wishes came true, though not in the way that I expected. And, you know, when I moved there, I basically didn't know anyone. I think I knew one person maybe. In fact, my cousin was living there, but I hadn't even reconnected with her. I wasn't really aware. So for the first 3 months that I was there, I barely spoke to anyone except people in shops. Okay, like, I mean, obviously I made phone calls as well, but to friends and family in Australia, and but I didn't know anyone. So the thing is that you know, and there are people who are going through this right now, and it's difficult when you don't know anyone and you can't even go and speak to people in shops, you know, but at least we have much better communication these days. We've got FaceTime and Zoom and all this. Yasmin, it was a new moon. And anyway, so what I did during that period of basically not knowing anyone was I just meditated, and just upped my spiritual practice, okay? And, you know, that's the best thing that you can possibly do. I'm reading someone saying, oh my gosh, I'm very sorry for what's happened to you. I'm sorry I missed that post. But, you know, try and think about how can I use this time? You know, how can I use this time? It's really important wherever you are in the world is to, and whatever's going on for you, we're all in this same COVID-19 boat. Shoba's saying chanting helps with my energy. That's why I do chanting every morning. I do it because I was asked to do. I do it because it helps me, and I do it because it helps other people. We do chanting every single day, and I will continue to do that for as long as we are in lockdown. So Tracy's saying she hasn't seen her daughter for a year. I haven't seen my mum for like a year and a half, you know, and it's awful, you know, but all we can do is do our best. Use this time to grow, exactly, as someone just said. And also, you know, yeah, tapping, really good, do tapping, chanting, meditating, walking, breathing the fresh air, getting out in the sunshine. All of you who suggested to me last week when I said I wasn't sleeping, you all told me get a happy light. Whoops, guess what I got? I got a happy light. So I take your advice. I was thinking I needed to get one anyway, so I've got that, I've got the treadmill, we've got a little courtyard garden. And, you know, like I said, if you're alive and well and happy and you haven't, you know, nothing terrible's happened during this period, then we are blessed, and we have to focus on the positive. And please, Goddess, this will be over soon enough. Who knows? Anyway, it's the full moon, and that's why I'm ranting, because, you know, it's when all the feelings come up. The reason why we do all the full moon work that we do, where we're processing our feelings at full moon, the reason why we do that, it's something I learned in India at the ashram where I go to. They do massive full moon ceremonies every single month. And it makes sense that all your feelings come up at the full moon. And that's the time to deal with them. That's the time to deal with them. Don't stuff them down with alcohol or food or drugs or whatever. Deal with them. Let them come up. Feel your feelings. And as Alice wisely says, this too shall pass. And if we're lucky enough to come out the other side, you know, if we're lucky enough to come out the other side, we will only look back on this. Leanne says, where can you learn tapping? Go to Nick Ortner's The Tapping Solution. He's the world leader in tapping. So, my teacher in India, Sri Shakti Narani Amma, has said this one particular thing that I printed out on a piece of paper, and I had as the screen on my phone for quite a few years, I think until I changed phones. And it said, the secret, and it's funny that Narani Amma said the secret, because Amma, I don't think, has a clue about the film called The Secret. Amma's a teacher in India, and I doubt that The Secret made its way to the ashram in India. You never know. But anyway, it says, the secret is to know that you are blessed and live your life within that knowing. Okay, say it again. The secret is to know that you are blessed and live your life within that knowing. Okay, and that's from my teacher in India, who doesn't know about this massive law of attraction revolution we've been having for the past few years, who doesn't know about, I'm sure doesn't know about the movie The Secret or the book The Secret. Yeah, get into it, guys, get into it. Know that you are blessed. And, you know, obviously we need to be compassionate to our friends when they're having a bad time. I wasn't particularly compassionate today because I felt I was being kind of having my face rubbed in something I didn't want to talk about. And that's also, I think, fine. I'm going to write a letter and say, I'm sorry that happened, you know, but let's have a moratorium on discussing COVID-19 deaths and the grisly ways in which people can die, and all the other little aspects that we're bringing up. Yeah, anybody else got anything else to say? I bought a silver ring on Etsy with "This too shall pass" in Hebrew. That's nice. What else you got for me today, guys? Should we do a card? The secret is to know that you are blessed and live your life within that knowing. Yes, and that is from my teacher in India, Sri Shakti Narayani Amma. I'll show you a picture of Amma. There's Amma, an Indian man who actually represents and embodies the goddess Narayani, which is the goddess that we need now in Kali Yuga, which is, if you just look up Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga, Yuga. And Narayani is made up of Lakshmi, Saraswati and Durga, which is why I'm always going on about Lakshmi, Saraswati and Durga. So there you go. All right, well, I can see you're all talking about tapping, so that's great. Tapping is amazing, even though I'm feeling all my feelings. It's really good. Just look it up. I've got a girlfriend who does it as well, actually, if you want one-to-one. Anna Maria Aisha, A-I-C-H-E-R. Anna Maria Aisha, A-I-C-H-E-R. She's amazing. She's based in Paris. She speaks English, French and German and probably other languages that I don't know about. And she will do tapping online. She will do tapping online. All right. Let's do a card. So last night in my Sun, Moon and Stars membership Oracle night, which we do once a month, someone suggested, Angie suggested, let's do a card for our sun, our moon and our rising sign, which was brilliant. So we did that and I found it quite telling, I have to say. All right, here's a card. So I'm going to ask for a card. Okay, Shannon's, what do I need to know today? Yeah, there's a tapping. So Nick Ortner has a tapping summit on right now. Susan wants a card for the day. I want a card about my situation with someone in particular that I'm working with, which I won't say, but I will say not Hay House. Let's see, what are the initials? All right, here comes a card. Oh, there's the card. Look at it. Oh no, there's two cards. Not going to get that one. Got to kind of wait till the card feels right. Okie dokie. So remember tonight, 6 p.m. if you're awake, full moon in my backyard. And I'll be going live on the events page, co-hosting with Hay House, but I'm going live on the events page because we found it's actually easier. Then you don't have to try and run around and figure out where we are. Okay? I'm going to see if it works. Oh, gosh, interesting. We got the Void of Course Moon card. Nothing will come of this situation. So that's interesting. Let's look at what it says here. In a form of astrology known as horary, try saying that out loud, horary, where an astrological chart is cast according to the question, the moment the question is asked and decoded, a void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or this situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news depending on what you're asking about. For example, if you're worried about something, whatever it was, this card can be taken as a sign there is nothing to worry about. Yay! I'm going to take it like that. However, if you're asking about a new project, including a new relationship or job, it's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things to get a different outcome. Remember, the cards can only predict what you are currently creating, so you can change that with your behavior and your beliefs. So there you go. Now, how about this? Interesting, because that makes a nice segue into me showing you these, which I used last night for the first time on my Sun, Moon and Stars membership Oracle Night. I'm going to change the name to Oracle Night because I think it's better than what we've got right now. These are my new cards. So these are my old cards. Amongst the best selling cards in the world, no pressure. And these are my new cards. And what I did is I wrote down, I printed them out. I didn't do this for the first lot, but I just wanted to do this from these. I printed out all the cards, and last night we did we picked cards. It was basically the first time. I did it once for a girlfriend, Diana, who I spoke to, but then I did them last night for the people in my Sun, Moon and Stars membership area because they are my number ones, and it was fun. So there you go. So I'm finishing those this weekend, and there you go. And they'll be out in October, I think. New cards are amazing, says Melinda. Thank you. So why it's interesting, what reminded me is it says here, remember the cards can only predict what you're currently creating, and you can change that with your behavior and your beliefs. And that's what these new cards address. They are far more, thank you, Margaret, I'm glad. They are far more intense. Like, they're much more didactic, they're much more challenging, because what I'm doing is so these cards do just the new moon and the full moon and then the 8 main phases and so on. And there are difficult cards in this, like the nothing will come of this situation card. You know, that's not good for someone who's saying, I just met someone, how's it going to go? And they get that card. Well, it's not that great. But, you know, they do have light and shade in them. But the new cards are even more direct because I've taken into account all the quarter moons. But on every single card, you get some tips for how to work with the card, because if you've pulled this, it means you're manifesting that. Therefore, you can do such and such or so and so. There you go. All right. So I think on that note, I'm going to sign off. Let us know when the Amazon pre-sale starts. Yes, we'll just wait, because I will create some bonuses so that, you know, when you buy them, you'll get some bonuses. Very direct. Sometimes that's what you need. Yes, they are quite direct. But they're not awful. They're just like heart of the matter. Scorpio rising last night was a finger pointing card. Shakila says, when will the cards be released? I'm pretty sure it's like September, something like that, October. We're actually going to do, I think we're going to release them with the next year's diary. So there'll be like a double package. All right. So I see you tonight, 6 p.m. Leanne, I know everybody wants them to be numbered. I keep asking, but the production editor at Hay House, who's a wonderful, wonderful woman, for some reason she doesn't want them numbered. And I keep saying, please, can we number them? And she's like, oh, I don't really think we need to number them. I'm like, please, can we number them? No, I don't really think we need to number them. I'm like, There's not much I can do in the face of that. You can only ask so many times, and they do know what they're talking about. You know, I mean, they are the experts in the world of oracle cards, let's face it. Hey, there's no one who does better oracle cards than Hay House, so I have to go with what they say. All right, lots and lots of love. Have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you tonight at 6 p.m. UK time for what looks like it's going to be a full moon fire ceremony in my backyard. Because it's sunny, so it looks like it's not going to be, there's nothing to stop us doing the fire tonight, which is great, and that helps burn up all the feelings as well. All right, lots of love. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tonight. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See ya.